Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. This will be the first of a three-part series where we'll be talking about fasting and an introduction to fasting. So if you're new to fasting, never fasted before, curious about fasting, or just wondering what to expect if you began your journey, we'll talk about that here. But before we begin, if we haven't already met, my name is John Corrett, also known as Vegan Strong Dad, and I'm a wellness coach. So on this page, I share information on diet, exercise, weight loss advice. I also exchange testimony from different clients around the world. So if you're new to the page, please go ahead and give it a like. If you have a friend that could benefit from this message, please go ahead and tag them. And finally, in the comment section, let me know where you're tuning in from so we can connect. I'd love to do that. So what is the first step in intermittent fasting? Intermittent fasting is understanding that it's simply taking a set amount of time, a prescribed amount of time, and not eating for any other time outside of that window. So in a 16-8, what we would do is for 16 hours of the day, we wouldn't eat any food. For those 8 hours remaining, we would take all of our daily meals and condense it into that 1 8-hour window. Now that may seem a little tough at first, but consider this. We're asleep for 8 hours of the day, at least we should be. So now you have 16 waking hours, and we're really just talking about eating for half of that time. For those of you that had said, I've never fasted before, I don't think I can fast, there's just no way I can do it. You've been fasting your entire life because every time you sleep for 8 hours, you're not eating. That's why they call it a breakfast, break fast. So the easiest way I can introduce you to fasting is simply skipping breakfast altogether. You'll get through it. Most of us start our day about 9 a.m. If you can get from that point of the day, and I'm talking about your work day, by the way, if you can get from that point of the day until noon without any food and just start eating your meals at noon, take about 4 meals, break them down, and this would be what you would normally consume throughout the day. Make it last from noon till 8 p.m. The easiest way I started was I took my full day's meals, I broke it into 4, and every other hour I had one. So that meal could look something like maybe a wrap with some hummus, some chickpeas, some cucumber, maybe a little balsamic dressing in there. That can be meal number 1. Maybe meal number 2, I'd have some oatmeal with a bunch of blueberries. Maybe meal number 3, I'd have some Ezekiel bread with some almond butter. Maybe I'd sprinkle some nuts on there and a piece of fruit, maybe like an apple or a banana, whichever your preference. And then finally for dinner, I like to go larger with that meal because keep in mind, that's the meal that's going to keep you satiated for the 16-hour duration. So for that meal, you might want to maybe throw another wrap in there. You might want to have yourself a patty, maybe some quinoa. That's a great option. Sweet potatoes are a great option. Now you guys may have noticed I didn't mention meat because I am a vegan, but for those of my friends and clients that still eat meat, I always tell you, that's fine. If you're going to make your protein choices with meat, make sure it's a lean meat. Try to do baked fish instead of fried fish. Grilled chicken instead of fried chicken. Fried stuff is the last resort. I would not recommend that to anyone, okay? And we'll get into that in another video. But try this out. 16 hours off, 8 hours on. Do it for 30 days. At this point of the game, we're not interested in counting calories. We're not going to talk about macronutrients and micronutrients, so don't concern yourself with any of that stuff. What I'm looking for is if you can commit to 30 days, sticking to your fast. If you start feeling a little withdrawal, keep in mind, you're probably just thirsty. Drink some water, you'll get through it. The toughest week will be your first week, but once that happens, you'll start noticing the changes. Now, if you don't find the weight loss happening right away, it could take a couple of weeks, and here's why. When we eat food, we build up something in our bodies called glycogen, and that gets stored in our liver. And it takes about 13 hours for the body to burn through your glycogen store. And you have to burn through your glycogen store before you can start attacking the fat. And for most of you, if you've never fasted before and you've been making poor choices like I used to, it could take you some time to burn through that big glycogen store. But if you stick with this, it will happen for you. I was 315 pounds in November and I'm 195 pounds today. And I did that in just over 6 months. So if I can do it, so can you. So finally, guys, if you found some value in this message, please share it with a friend. Please like the page and let me know what you think in the comments section. In the next video, we'll discuss the second stage of fasting. But for right now, that's all we got. Look forward to your comments and I will talk to you soon.